Hey guys, it's Brad from GeorgiaProbateResource.com. We're a real estate solutions company here in Metro Atlanta. We buy houses all over the state of Georgia, and we specialize in the world of probate inheritance properties. So today I'm going to continue another one of our probate stories series, and today I'm going to talk about we'll call it the tired caretaker. So we purchased a property. It was last year through a probate deal, and this is actually one where the heirs and the family had actually set up a living trust before the parents passed away, so they actually were able to completely bypass the probate process, which was great because then you didn't have to wait all the time through probate, which was awesome. So there were two heirs, there were two brothers, and they inherited the property from their parents. Their mother had passed away about 3.5 years prior, and their father survived the mother, and then within a year after the mother passed away, the father got sick. So one of the brothers, one of them lived in South Carolina, I forget where in South Carolina, but lived in South Carolina, not that far away. And the other brother actually lived out west, and that brother kind of dropped everything he was doing and moved back to the Atlanta area and moved in with his dad to take care of the dad. So he moved in there. He was the dad's caretaker for a little over a year until the dad passed away, and did what a good son would do and come take care of his dad, right? So he put everything in his life on pause and moved here and took care of his dad. So after taking care of his dad for a year, he was definitely tired. After his dad passed away, it was only a couple months later, he reached out to, his brother reached out to us because his brother was technically the trustee of the trust. So his brother reached out to us and said, "Hey, we've got a property in the Atlanta area that we want to sell, and we've inherited it from our parents, and it's in a trust. And my brother is currently living in the house now, but he's in the process of purchasing a new home, and he's going to be moving out of state. So the house will be vacant upon closing." So we went and looked at it. This house, their parents had purchased this home when it was brand new. The house was built in the 1990s, so they bought it brand new back in the 90s. So it was 30 some odd years old at this point, or in the early 90s, I should say. So the house was about 30 years old at this point, and they were looking to sell it. They just wanted to sell it as is. They didn't want to mess with it. The house was in a little bit of disrepair during the time period where the guy was taking care of his dad. He really wasn't able to do a lot of repairs, even though this particular brother, he did get a job while he was here. He was working at a local retail home improvement place, but ironically, he really couldn't do a lot of the repair work that the house needed because he was just so busy between work and taking care of his dad. He didn't have time to do it. So the house fell into a little bit of disrepair, and there was a couple sort of, let's call it major issues with the house. One, there was this like phantom roof leak that I went over there. I climbed up on the roof and in the attic, and I couldn't figure it out. And I finally got my roofer to go over to the house during a rain event, and he was able to actually figure out what the problem was and isolate the problem. It's crazy. We had to go over there during the rain to figure out where this leak was coming from. It was crazy because the roof really wasn't that old. It was only like 5 years old, and all of a sudden it's leaking. And the company that put the roof on was nowhere to be found. That's typically fly-by-night roofers, right? They're in business for a couple years. So if you get a roof and the company gives you a warranty, well, that warranty is only as good as that contractor's in business. Once they're out of business, you're never going to get in touch with them anymore. They're not going to warranty the roof. And shingle manufacturers find every reason possible to weasel their way out of honoring warranties. So in this particular case, we had that, and then there was actually sort of a major issue with the foundation in the garage of this house. When the house was built, whoever backfilled the garage, typically when you're building this house on a basement, when you build on a basement, you're going to pour your foundation walls around, and then they typically will fill in the dirt in the garage if you're on a sloped lot and bring that grade up level, and then they'll pour the garage slab on top of the foundation walls. Well, what happened was whoever did the filling did not properly compact the soil underneath, and the entire garage slab had settled down. Gosh, it was a good probably 4 or 5 inches. that it had dropped down, so the garage was almost like a bowl. So anytime any water got in there, it just collected right in the middle and had nowhere to go. And then eventually, actually, because of the cracks, the water would get in the cracks and then get down in the soil and soften up the soil and cause the problem to get worse. So there was that major issue with it. I knew that it wasn't super major structural damage just because basically you're going to have to just bust up the garage slab and then go in there and bring in some more fill material, compact it properly, make sure you've got good compaction, and then re-pour the slab on top of it. So that would have been a fix, but that still probably would have cost about I'd say $6,000 to $7,000 to make all those repairs. So it's a pretty big chunk of change, right? So we've got that, and then the house needed paint. It needed bathrooms needed some updating. It had some drywall damage, some drywall repairs. There was a water leak in the basement through the ceiling. The house had the old polybutylene plumbing, and some of it was leaking. And so there was some issues here and there. There's some mold issues in the basement because their dad got oversold on an air conditioning system in the house, and this was a 2,500 square foot house, and somebody installed a 5-ton air conditioning system. And if you know anything about air conditioning systems, you know that that is way oversized for that house. So they were getting humidity issues and mold issues in the basement. But enough about construction. This house also, this caretaker, let's go back to the caretaker. So he was just tired, between working and taking care of his dad. He was tired. He was ready for a new beginning. So he actually purchased a house up in the mountains in Asheville, North Carolina, and was really excited about moving to Asheville. He'd always wanted to live in Asheville. So we were able to coordinate everything where we did the closing and then gave him a few days to transfer. He was getting half the money. His brother was getting the other half of the money. Give him a few days where he was able to transfer the money over to, out of the estate account and then over to him personally, and then transfer the money to the closing attorney to wire it to be able to do his closing. So we coordinated everything. We gave him a temporary occupancy for a few days so that he could stay, get his stuff out and move. And then said he was going to clean the house out, but then we offered, hey man, how about we just clean the house out for you and we'll just knock a few grand off the price. And he said, actually, that's a fantastic idea. Let's do that because I just don't have time to clean this house out. So yeah, I'll take what I want and you just throw the rest away and you guys clean it out. We do that actually quite frequently on a lot of our deals where we'll actually just buy it with all the stuff in it that you don't want and we'll clean it out and let you go on your merry way. So that's exactly what we did in this case, and he was super ecstatic. His brother was ecstatic. We got the deal done. We got to the finish line, and he was able to move to his house in North Carolina. It's in the mountains, and he's happy. His brother's happy. Everybody's happy, and we got a house, and it was a pretty easy rehab job on that house. There wasn't too much to it. So that's another story I wanted to share because it's actually quite common where a caregiver spends a lot of time taking care of their loved one, and eventually once it's all done, after the death sort of settles and the dust settles from the death, they're like, okay, I'm ready for a new life. I'm tired. I want to move on. So that's exactly what happened here, and hope you enjoyed the story. There's going to be a lot more stories about this. I figured it'd be good to share these stories because every deal we do has a story. Everyone has a story. There's a unique situation, and everybody has a story. And these deals are about the people and the stories. They're not just about the house. So I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for another story, and I appreciate your time. Again, I'm Brad with GeorgiaProbateResource.com, real estate solutions company here in Metro Atlanta, buying houses all over the state of Georgia, and we specialize in the world of probate inheritance properties. So if you'd like to sell your house for a quick cash offer, or you would like to list the house the traditional way, I can help you with that as well. I'm a licensed real estate agent with One Source Realty. I can list it for you, or I'll be the investor that buys it for cash, makes you a quick, easy, fast cash offer, and takes it off your hands. So you figure out which one works best for you, and we'd love to help you. So thanks again for checking out the video, and you have a nice day. Bye-bye.